We're back.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Long awaited for
Yes.
our first episode.
First episode of
Truth in Her podcast. Your favorite girls podcast.
Here we
and
are.
guys, if you like to listen.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, welcome.
We're so excited. We were just setting up all of our wires.
Yeah, like so many wires connecting everything, but we did it.
The technology is crazy, you guys.
Yeah, we're learning so much. It's
Yeah.
actually not even funny.
Yeah, but it's really great. Like, we have, like, so much good equipment, and it sounds really nice, so we're really excited
Yeah,
to be able to record this.
yeah, definitely. It's a massive blessing.
Mm-hmm.
It's huge what we get to do.
It's such a big blessing.
Yeah,
It's such a big blessing. I'm so happy.
yeah,
But today we really want to focus on talking about our journey into Christianity, which is something that happened this year.
yeah, yeah. I think we I think we want to share it to help others and
Yeah.
To help people relate that came from similar backgrounds to us.
Yeah. Like, if you came from a Christian background previously, if you came from no religious background, you know, or if you're, like, just starting out and trying to learn about Christianity, you know, we're kind of in that boat right now where it's, like, we're learning right now, like, we just found God, and, like, Maddie, you've never been introduced to Christianity.
Yeah, I was raised not religious.
Mm-hmm.
I was given a lot of room to explore what I wanted. I was told there was a God, like we believed in a God, but there wasn't much practice or, no Sunday worship, no praying before eating or anything like that. It was really like just what I wanted to do with it.
Right.
But, I think that has given me so much freedom to find out for myself. And I know, like, coming from a background like that, it's almost controversial in a way, because it's like, when, how often is someone going to find God like that?
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's led me to where I am today, and I'm so thankful, and my journey's not over, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, not at all. How I started, like, my interest in everything, and just, like, where we came from at all, I guess would be, like, Buddhism and Hindu mysticism and stuff like that. Like, my major is physics. And a lot of what, like, physics principles relates to Hindu principles and Buddhism principles. Like it's almost like reading a physics textbook and reading to, like, the Bhagavad Gita is, like, there's so many connections, it's insane. And I guess, like, physics would be the study of, like, where we came from, but with numbers.
Yeah.
And I don't know too much about Buddhism, but, like, it's all brought me to God, and I'm so thankful for that. But then I guess it was my grandfather who finally introduced me to Christianity. Mm-hmm. And now I've been reading the Bible, and I'm still on that journey. I'm still trying to figure out what it's like to be, like, because for me, at least with physics, there's, like, and Hindu mysticism, there's, like, this, I don't know, there's, like, these topics that you read about, or these principles that you read about in about reality that are like, wow, that's insane to look at the world like that. And with Christianity, it's not like that in a way. Mm-hmm. Like, I think there's definitely certain sides of Christianity that don't talk about, I guess, how Jesus knew everything that he did. and how Jesus came
Right.
came to the ideas of I am.
Right.
And that I'm still on that journey with Christianity in a way, because there's definitely some like sides to it that almost were teaching what Jesus was saying in the wrong way.
In Christianity?
Yeah. But that's
Okay.
but I realized like how important it is. There was something Jesus said, I forget what book it was in, but Jesus was like, the only way through God is through me. And I realized it's not through your Sunday worship. It's not through the preacher.
Yep.
It's not through, it's not through a book about the Bible. It's through Jesus and only him. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where I'm at with Christianity right now, is like, and I'm really trying to read the Bible on my own time and interpret it in the way what it directly says.
Right.
But yeah, I still am like, I'm going to church though. We've been going to church.
Yep, we've been going to church.
And yeah.
I definitely have so many questions.
Yeah.
I would love to write down all my questions, like, that I have, and just, like, sit down and ask somebody, like even questions like, why isn't God fair? Why isn't this and that? Like, I don't know, just, like, little things that I think of, and I'm like, I don't really understand this fully, but I'm willing to understand because I really feel drawn to this.
Yep.
But I grew up Mormon, and so that's like a branch of Christianity, but it's a very thick culture. So I left that because it was just not right for me. But me and Maddie kind of went on a journey of like spirituality when we were a little younger. And it was very much like science-based.
Yeah, definitely.
It was very science-based. It was very like interpretation-based.
Right,
So,
like kind of like with that physics mindset.
Yeah.
Like with like looking at how like just thought forms and like waveforms and the way the natural
like energy
way that the world, like almost like the forces of God rather than like God as
looking
a person.
at God.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the way God is working rather than the way God is being.
Like we were recognizing his creation, but we weren't recognizing him.
Right.
And so
I think that's in a way recognizing him.
Yeah, for sure.
I think now we have a much more like
now we're conscious
focused.
of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so we were definitely like so big into that, and we recently started going to church this year, and it's just been like a game changer for me. It's really shifted my perspective on all of that, because like you said, like you get to realize that everything around you is coming from God. Like God is the source, and like learning about Jesus and like what kind of man he was, and his disciples and the teachings of the Bible, it just really speaks so much truth. And I want to learn more because I know this is a good thing, and I know
definitely.
Like I know that Jesus is, he's really the guy.
Yeah, like literally, like so his lines for Christ and man were not different. Like there was no lines.
Yeah.
And to me, that's just like, it's almost coming from like learning about like yoga teachers and learning about just big people in Hindu mysticism. Like it's like they were saying almost the same stuff as Jesus. Mm-hmm. And I'm interested in like where those cross over, and like what yoga teachers have to say about Jesus and Christianity too. Mm-hmm. But I'm realizing what Christ likeness is.
Yes.
And how
me too.
and how Jesus is like really, he lived that, and even the way he like worded certain sentences is just like, wow, that's amazing. But for me right now, it's important for me to read the Bible rather than like, yeah, I'm gonna go to Sunday worship and everything and learn what they have to say at church. We go to Sovereign Grace Church. It's great, 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 great church. Love everybody there. It's amazing.
Yes, I love that church.
But it's really
great.
Yeah. So many friends like serving there. It's just been a blessing.
Yeah, but I also really, really am interested in learning like what kind of guy Jesus was.
Yeah.
What he like lived for, what he taught. Like he really just, he was so humble and so loving and just so forgiving.
Yeah.
So forgiving.
Right. Like I think he truly saw others as himself.
Yeah.
Like he truly saw.
He did.
He truly looked at the world through the eyes of Christ.
He did.
And seeing everything around him as himself, as that like all-encompassing I am. And like there's so much culture in this world. There's so much like history and way things have been done and like the way he was able to forget about that and I guess just live in the way that he knew God wanted it, truly how God wanted it.
Yeah.
It then can be carried and taught for years and now we can be learning about it and what he says is still true and it was always going to be true because it's so Christ-like.
Like, because he's the Son of God, he knows what God has intended for man.
Yeah.
He knows what God has intended for man in order to raise oneself up to the highest degree, like Jesus was. He knows how to reach that point and to live for eternity and, reach a point of, like, so much enlightenment.
Right.
So much love and peace, and that's how you do it. Like the way his teachings will teach you how to do it, and it just feels so true to me because he is the Son of God.
Yeah.
He was born through the Virgin Mary.
Right.
Like
so, like Christ, like literally Christ.
So
amazing.
An angel.
Yeah, I want to learn more about that side of him. I think.
Yeah.
At least for me, I haven't gotten much of that from what they speak about at our church. That's why for me it's important to prioritize like reading what he said. Right now I've been reading John.
Oh, yeah.
Which has been good.
Is John like talking about when he was born?
Yeah, it's like John talks about pretty much his like the how he was crucified.
Oh, when he was crucified.
Yeah.
Okay,
and then the beginning too is a lot about like the miracles he was doing.
Oh, right, the miracles.
Yeah.
I started John, and I remember, like, I couldn't remember what it was talking about, but yeah, the miracles.
Yeah.
Miracles are a big thing for me.
He literally, like, broke down, even on that level, he broke down what he knew about this world and was, like, just was able to calm a storm.
He, like...
with one thought.
He was the physics. He was...
Yeah.
Like, he bent nature. He bent God's design.
He completely got rid of what he knew beforehand.
Yeah, he bent God's design.
I wonder if he ever, like... If he was always like that, or if he came and grew to be like that. Because
I think he was always like that.
You think so?
There's prophecy.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
There's prophecy of him.
You're so right.
And I think, like, because of the prophecy in the Bible and, like, the way he was and stuff, like, I don't think that he was like us.
Yeah.
I don't think he was just somebody born like that.
Right.
And even the fact that, like, his mom was a virgin, you know, like, that's the Son of God.
Yeah.
And just, like, taking what the Bible says, I don't think he was just like us who grew to be like that. I don't.
Yeah,
and
I think you're
that's
right.
what separates Christianity from, like, Hinduism and stuff. Like,
right.
He really is that guy.
He was just born like that.
Yeah, like, it was, like, destined to be like that. Like,
right.
It's true. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of, like, what I'm realizing right now.
Yeah.
But obviously I still have so many questions.
I think you're so right. I think, like, you know, we truly are born sinners, and we have to work in the way to get to a place to be Christ-like, and
Yeah.
unlearn. We do have to unlearn.
Yeah, and that's what makes him, like, that's what makes him Christ. Like, he wasn't like us. He didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
He was a sinless man.
Right. He was perfect.
And that's not, like, he knows that none of us will ever be like that.
Right.
But he died for our sins so that we can.
Yeah.
In a way.
Uh,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
But then that drives the question, like, what about the people before him?
Right.
Like, did he die for their sins?
I think so.
You know? It's just like,
I think he did.
that was a question for me.
Okay. Yeah. That's what I'm searching in my life for, is more of like some of his teachings are so above us.
So above us.
I want to know the above us teachings. So
I know,
bad.
right?
So bad. It's not even funny. Like, that's what I search for, is like the root of something, like the gritty,
Yeah.
hard facts.
Yeah, I really gotta read the Bible more, but
Me too, me
I'm
too.
actually in the process of trying to find one to buy.
Yeah, you'll get there. You'll get a good one.
But I get the urge, like, in the morning, I'm like, read the Bible. And I'm like, why am I thinking this right when I wake up? This is crazy.
That's amazing.
Like, I'm being called.
Yeah, it's just like, oh,
Yeah.
you just eat it, like, read it when you have breakfast, or like,
Yeah.
I always, for
Start
some
the day.
reason, I always feel called when I'm about to eat food.
Oh, really?
I don't know why.
Interesting.
Like, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna eat dinner, let me read my Bible real quick.
Yeah.
You know, like, I just read and eat.
I'm so called, like, right when I wake up before I even do anything.
Yeah, that's
like,
amazing.
Roll out of bed, just, like, honestly have my Bible open to where I'm supposed to read.
Yeah,
And just read, like, right when I wake up.
yeah.
Because, like, that compared to grabbing your phone in the morning
Oh my
is
god.
crazy.
Yeah. It actually
It's not
changes
even
your life.
comparable.
It changes your life.
Changes your life. And like the pastor was saying, oh, pastor, right? Is he a pastor?
Yeah.
Okay. Like the pastor was saying, he says, you know, like he wakes up in the morning and reads the Bible every morning. Was that him that said that? Somebody
I bet
said
you
that.
he does. I bet you he does.
Somebody said that.
Yeah.
And like look at his life. Look at his marriage. Look at his family.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Look at the kind of man he is. And I'm sure I might not know his whole life, but, you know, I feel like 9 times out of 10, it's going to improve your life and make it a little better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyways, back to what we were saying about our search for spirituality before we came into Christianity.
Yeah.
I kind of came to a conclusion that you can search and discover and learn and think as much as you want, but it will never really come to an end, and I put end in quotations,
Okay. Yeah.
until you find God. And then you really find, like, oh, okay. It all is like, everything is in a
Yeah.
triangle, and then God's at top. And
Yeah.
it's like, I finally understand what all this means.
Right.
And then you search for, like, how to grow your faith in God.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No. Definitely. Definitely.
I think that's what what's really drawn us to Christianity in the end.
Right. I think during the days that during COVID, we'd go out and like we'd look at the world with like no obstruction. We would see it and be like, oh my God, look at how that's working. Like, look at how that turned into, and how, or look at, like, we guessed that. Or, like, just looking at how all creation was connected to itself.
Mm-hmm.
And everything was one. And, like,
Right.
and I think you're right. I think we were looking at it from, like, a standpoint of not having, I guess, I don't know, because everything is Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everything is God. So it is hard to say, like, we weren't looking at him.
Right.
But I guess it was like we were looking at it without the Bible, without the Word of God.
It was kind of like we were creating ideas that were amazing, but we still had this question of, like, whoa, what is life? Where is it coming from?
Right, right.
And so we could be in awe of everything. We can understand things.
Yeah.
But we were like, okay, at least for me, I was like, okay, I don't understand how we're here or how this is anything like knowing that there is now a God and I feel comfortable with that. And like coming into Christianity, I'm like, oh, it really makes sense now because I understand that everything I knew is true.
Yeah.
But it's God's creation and like he created it for its beauty and it's a perfect plan and it's a perfect design.
Right.
And now I feel comfortable in searching for amazing like hypotheses on life because I'm like, okay, this is amazing. Like I have somebody to thank. I have somebody to look up to and to be in awe of at least.
I think you're right. I think it's like it definitely helps us focus.
Yeah.
And hone in, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think that finding God was like, wow, this makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. For sure. For sure.
But
it's been a blessing.
It really has. And then, like, I think what also drew us to God was our openness to experience and, like, our open-mindedness and all of it.
Oh, definitely.
Like,
definitely.
You should always be curious and a know-nothing when on your spiritual journey.
Yep.
Because when you're curious and you're not a know-it-all and you're open to know,
yeah,
then you can truly let your soul be led to where the truth is.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Like, I don't know, I just think that's beautiful. Like, if you're really struggling with finding, you know, your spirituality or, like, finding a path to be on, be curious, you know, don't, like, act like you don't know anything. Like, be open to learn something. Be open for things to come to you. And your soul will be led in the right direction.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
You will be led into somewhere, and it's like, okay, what's speaking to your heart?
Yeah.
You know?
And that'll be true when you are open to everything.
Yeah.
Everything. You cannot discount anything.
Yeah.
When you consider every single possibility, this is actually a mathematical equation. I'm pretty sure. I forget who it was. Some guy a long time ago was like, if you consider every possible mathematical, if you consider every possibility, you'll get to the right one. You'll get to the right one along the journey if you consider everything.
Yeah.
You're mathematically going to come to the answer.
Be so curious. Be a know-nothing. Forget what you've been hardwired.
Yeah, yeah.
And then come into something.
Like an infant.
Yeah, be an infant. Mm-hmm. Literally. Be an infant. What kind of beliefs did you have that no longer serve you? Yeah. What did your parents teach you that you're kind of like, oh, wait a minute.
Right.
You know, I don't have to just believe what I've been hardwired to believe when I was 6 years old.
Yeah, like...
I'm an adult now.
You could even step outside and be like, oh my god, that tree is, like, insane.
Yeah.
Like, look at... Like, and try to look at it in a way that you never looked at it before.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like when you get to a certain age where you're aware, or like when you're an adult, you get to a point where it's like you kind of have to have a death of the soul in some sort of way.
Yeah.
In order to be like, grow into your own person.
Yeah.
But then really like go into that and be like, let me relearn some things. Let me think about things that might be hard to think about it because I've identified with this belief for so long.
Yeah.
Like think about what you believe in. Mm-hmm. Why do you believe in them? Is that because your parents told you to believe in that? Or your friends? Like, really, really find your values and everything and just kind of like you said, be open to everything.
Right. That's so important.
Really lead your soul in a great direction in that way.
Yeah.
By letting go of things like that.
I think that helped, like COVID helped us do that so much. I bet you that COVID helped a lot of people do that.
Yes.
That probably...
At least for us.
We had so much time to think.
Way too much time to think. Way too much time. And we were lucky enough to be like 15, 16.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like right at that sweet spot.
You're so
where you're
right.
like becoming a person.
Yeah. We, like, it came at the perfect time.
Yeah, so we were like our minds like just Limitless.
Limitless. That's what I wrote my college essay about. It's just forgetting limiting beliefs.
Yeah. Yes.
It's like,
Just let it go, man.
it can be really scary. It can be really scary for someone to like let go
Oh,
of
yeah.
what's helped them their whole life.
Yeah.
And it's most of the time even done without even realizing it. Like it's most of the time.
Oh, yeah.
Just wake up. This is what I do every day.
Yep.
This is how I know things are gonna go correctly for me.
Yep.
But that it comes to a point when you don't learn anymore like that. You know, like you said earlier, like I know, like becoming an adult, part of it has to be saying to yourself, okay, I can handle anything that's going to come my way. And I have to be strong enough for anything that's going to come my way. And it's hard because sometimes when you have to grow up, you have to say, it's easy to come to a point and say, I know what I'm doing. And when you come to that point, some people can be like, okay, I know what I'm doing. I don't have anything else to learn. Like I got this.
Yeah.
And when that happens, like it can get a little dangerous.
Yeah, they just take the reins of what their 6-year-old self believes and they just roll with it, and it's like,
right. It can be dangerous because then,
you gotta have some awareness. You gotta think about what you're thinking about and be like, wait a minute.
Yeah, thinking about what you're thinking about.
Yeah.
It's so weird to think about it like that, but you have to be like, okay, what are my daily thoughts? Like what is normally going through my head every day?
Literally.
Are these good thoughts or are these bad thoughts? You have to be
It sounds so simple, but I don't know. Sometimes I struggle with it.
Definitely. There's definitely times where you wake up after 3 days and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah, you're like, whoa.
I need to be happy. I need to choose what's good for me.
Yeah. It's holy crap, who am I?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think we're blessed in a way that we can do that. It's taken us time to learn how to do that.
Yes, it has.
But
But it helps. And I know a lot of people aren't like that, but if you're really struggling, just think about what you think about.
Yeah,
and be maybe I shouldn't think
off.
about that anymore.
Maybe take a day off and just go outside and be like, you know what? I'm just gonna forget it all.
Yeah. I like the idea of just wandering into the wilderness.
Yeah.
With your life. Just wander into the wilderness. Go into the unknown. Mm-hmm. You know?
That's what you gotta do.
Wander in the wilderness.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Take it on. Because that's where you really learn all the stuff,
Definitely.
Be vulnerable with your life,
Definitely.
And don't be scared to, have those thorns pop up and tell you, whoa, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
You just gotta be like, you know what, man?
I'm gonna
die one day.
I'm gonna let go.
I'm gonna die one day, and I'm gonna wander into this wilderness. And if I get hurt, I get hurt. But at least I learned something.
I know for me, there was a time in my life when I was very comfortable operating in chaos. I was very comfortable in not seeing what was wrong until things were really, really wrong. And it definitely is there was a fog over my eyes in a way. And it that awareness just wasn't there, and I was more comfortable in fixing and cleaning up rather than I was more comfortable in cleaning up what I had done wrong rather than preventing what I even did wrong in the first place.
Yep.
And I was so comfortable in the chaos.
And people get like that.
Yep. But there was truly a fog over my eyes. Truly, I didn't have that awareness to say, okay, whoa, let me not make that decision so then it'll help my future self.
Sorry, I was just thinking about how I finished my tea.
Yeah.
I just took a big gulp of my tea.
But
anyways, I love talking about how your comfort zone it doesn't need to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Your comfort zone is what your nervous system is used to, and people operate in what they're used to.
Right.
And so, like you said, you were operating in chaos.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
But to me, that was comfortable.
yeah.
That's what was
Even
comfortable.
though it probably wasn't a good situation.
No, definitely not.
And
Definitely,
people
definitely
get stuck in that
not. Yeah.
so bad. And it's like, why are they in this loop?
Right.
And why can't they just rip away from it and just, do what they need to do and help themselves? But it's like,
Yeah.
their nervous system is just hardwired in that way right
Reaching
now.
for that little piece of, like, what feels right.
Yeah. It's like, I think I saw a video where it was like, every time you learn something or think about something, like a neuron connects to another neuron.
Oh, yeah, neuroplasticity.
So you're creating a spider web of your reality.
Yeah.
So when you think, I hate myself, I'm ugly, I'm this, I'm that, I can't do it, like your neurons are like, okay, I believe this. Like if anyone has ever watched Inside Out #2,
Oh, yep.
like that little space where her core center comes together and those memories are in there, and she's like, I'm this, I'm that,
Yeah.
I am this, I'm that.
Her, like, virtues.
Like, genuinely, that's what I'm talking about. The comfort zone of like your neurons. Like it really shapes your reality.
Like, what are your true, honest beliefs? Like, what do you...
Yeah.
Get down to your nitty-gritty. Write down in your notebook, like, I am this. What are things that you've been thinking the past couple days?
Yeah, like what do you believe yourself to be?
Yeah.
What is like your reality right now?
And for me, a way that I have helped myself learn about myself is looking at how I express myself to others in my life.
Yeah.
And that's how I've learned, okay, this is what I'm subconsciously thinking, or how I'm subconsciously viewing myself, because that's how that's what I'm showing to others.
Yeah.
And there was like, then I was like, oh my gosh, I'm expressing myself in a way I don't want to be looked at. Like, I don't want to like, but then then when I came to that, I realized what I was really thinking about myself, like subconsciously.
Right. You can like project that outwards
Yeah, without even realizing.
without realizing. You're right.
But that's a great practice, is to like be like, okay, what am I when I'm in spaces that I truly feel like myself, or that I'm being fully myself, what does it look like? And then what do I want it to look like? What do I want it to feel like?
Like, what are you telling yourself every day? Be so honest, even if it hurts. Like, if you're telling yourself you're ugly every day, come
That's a
on.
lesson I've learned too. Brutal honesty is so important, guys. Brutal honesty.
Yeah.
Even if it's disgusting.
Yeah, so
That's
gross.
so honest. Brutal honesty is better than living a lie. This is like,
Yes, you guys, you don't want to be delusional
no.
and have your kids put up with that.
Delulu is not cool. Delulu is not cool, okay? Let's be honest. Let's be real. Let's be real, okay?
Yeah, just be honest. Like, come on, admit that you did something wrong. Be honest.
It's okay.
Speak your truth.
Jesus still loves you.
Yeah.
We love you.
And it's not the end of the world.
It's really not.
Like, vulnerability is the start of love.
They're so right.
So just be honest.
And throughout that time of like, if anybody's going through something where like they don't understand how to like get out of their loop, firstly, give yourself the grace. Give yourself, go into that moment and say, you know what, I've been doing something I don't like. I've been saying things about myself I don't like, but it's okay. And like, now I'm here and I'm like, give yourself the time to really feel what, feel the sorrow of how you've been treating yourself.
Yeah. Don't run away from it,
It's okay. Like so there's been times where I just had to take time in my room and be like, damn, like I really did that to myself and I did not deserve that. Like, at all.
Yeah.
But
For real.
yeah. But
It's just like, what am I doing to myself?
Yeah, and
you
like,
do it on purpose to stay in that comfort zone.
Yeah.
Like, whether you like it or not, you're doing it on purpose.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you don't deserve that. You deserve a happy, healthy life that's thriving with Christ.
Yeah.
With Christ.
Like, you can be happy.
Yeah.
You can be happy.
Sometimes I look at the world and like there's people out there and they're like, it seems like they think it's so like being happy would be the craziest thing in the world. Like it's
I
actually
know.
like comedy to
Like,
them.
it's like fake.
Yeah. But like, is it really that crazy to believe you can be happy? Is it really
it's
that
just like,
crazy?
you believe it does. You believe those things, so therefore it's not in your reality.
Is it really that crazy?
It's really not. Like, it wouldn't be an emotion.
But sometimes like completely breaking down the wiring in the head is
Yeah.
crazy to them. You know, sometimes like
Oh yeah, they're like, what does that even mean?
breaking down what they've known since like 6 is hard.
It's a pretty heavy topic for some.
I know, and we sometimes we talk about it like it's just a breeze.
I know.
We've been through this
Bear
journey
with.
together. We did
Bear
it together, and we're still doing it. And we hold each other
Oh
accountable.
yeah. And I'm a psych major, and I plan on being a therapist and a counselor one day, and a teacher. So like this kind of stuff is just, you know, it's helpful stuff,
Definitely,
and I think it really is helpful stuff, you know.
definitely, for sure. Yeah,
But yeah,
but I think we did go through that, and like we broke down we rewired our subconscious,
yeah.
and then
Oh yeah.
and then
Like
now
during quarantine.
yeah, and now it's like now we can see God clearly.
We were open. We cleared it, and we were ready to move on into the wilderness. And then the
Yeah.
wilderness, it was like, okay, whoa,
It's really
big,
shaky.
scary things. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm learning this. I'm learning that.
Big girl decisions.
And by not identifying with anything, and letting ourselves become who we are so naturally through our hearts, and letting our heart speak to us, has led us to God.
yeah,
And
definitely.
it's led us to our authentic selves.
Yes.
Stop identifying with things. Stop clinging on to things. Stop clinging. Like, stop tying ropes to your heart.
Yep.
And, you know, making fake promises and making a fake idea of yourself.
Yeah.
Get out of your alter egos. Get out of, you know, all these stupid values and beliefs that you have. Just let your authentic self and your heart guide you to where you need to be.
Yeah. And one thing I will say, I know it's really scary to completely let go sometimes. But when you fully let go, even if it looks like you're about to be thrown off the cliff and you're about to go crazy, that is when you will be driven by your Holy Spirit. When you are driven by almost your like animalistic tendencies,
Yes.
you will be driven by the Holy Spirit, and if you use the discernment that you've always had, we will be brought to the right decision.
Like when you my thought is gone.
yeah but and then say you are brought to a decision and it wasn't right, and then you learn it wasn't right, then truly take that in. Truly be like, okay, I
Yeah.
made a mistake. Now what would have been better?
Yeah. Like when you face challenges, you know, that's gonna really teach you something.
Yeah.
Really bring you somewhere.
Yeah.
Like really take the most out you can at those situations, because it's like even like when you're praying for something, like you're praying so hard for something, and then it's like, oh my gosh, like why am I going through this really hard thing now? Like it can be frustrating. You know, you feel like you're not heard, you feel like you're not seen, you feel like things are just not working out for you, and you keep praying and holding on. Like God's giving you those challenges to teach you what you need to know to answer your prayers and to get where you need to be.
Yeah.
And to get to where your heart is yearning for. You can't just expect all good things to come to
Right.
you.
Exactly.
You gotta learn how to be like that.
Yeah.
You gotta learn.
Exactly. Like Christ is working in you. Christ is working in you, and when you pray for patience, God is not going to give you that patience. He's going to give you the opportunity to become patient.
Yes.
He's going to give you a trial and say, okay, this is what's going to make you feel impatient. But it's your choice to say, I'm going to feel patient in this moment. I'm going to feel love for this person in this moment. I'm not going to choose anger in this moment. And it's really important to make
Yeah.
that connection, to try it, to try the new thing and break the ideas that you had in the past of reverting to your old ways.
Yeah. And if that's scary, be like, why is this so scary?
Yeah.
You know, what could really go wrong? Like, if you think about it, you have one life.
Right.
Just be like, you know what?
Yeah, what could go wrong in choosing love?
Seriously. You can always just do something else. You know, what's so wrong with trying so many things?
Yeah.
You tell your kids,
I
did
love
this and
trying
doing
new
this.
things. I
know?
love trying new things.
Yeah, there's no harm. You know?
Taking that leap of faith. Once you take one leap of faith and it works well in your life, you'll just keep taking leaps of faith. Sometimes in ways that you're like, whoa, I feel really scared right now.
Yeah.
But then it comes to a point when you're like, oh my goodness, I've created a whole new life.
It's
And
very
now
common
it's
for our
like-
age, too.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's
You're
why
so
we're talking
right.
about it so much, because it's like, we're literally 21.
Yeah.
Like,
I think you're right.
I
This
think
is a
we've
whole new leap of
really
faith for
had to,
us.
like, you know, face that.
Yeah. we had to take the leaps of faith because like
You have to.
once you get to an age like this, like you're put on the block, you're put on the spot, and you're like, okay, now it's time for you to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's up to us now to make the living. It's up to us to do all the things to become successful.
Yeah.
And you can either look at that and say, wow, I can make this anything I want, and I can make it really happy and make a really good life for myself. Or you could say, oh my gosh, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to be able to do it. Like, like you have such a big opportunity at this age.
Yeah.
Massive. And it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It can be really scary, but it's so gorgeous if you look at it like that.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
It's really important to look at your life as like just being able to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Like there's no blockage in anything, but you have to go about it the right way.
You do. And if you are an individual that does have blockages, because I know a lot of people, like, might not be as, you know, fortunate as others. Like, yes, we can, like, we live in America. We can all, you know,
Yeah.
we're all very fortunate here.
Definitely.
But, you know, like, there's certain things that people have a harder time doing than others. Like, if you were raised in a harder family, you know, if, you know, there's so many things I can name, but see what you can do, you know, stay optimistic about things.
Mhm.
You know, how can you get there? You know, depending on your individual situation, how can you get to where you want to be? How can you stay positive about it? You know, what kind of person do you need to be to do this, you know? And just, you know, focus on keeping the control over your life and being like, okay, I got this. Like, you know, I just got to figure out how to get there.
Yeah.
And don't be a victim to life, you know? Don't be a victim to life.
Yeah.
You can do anything, really.
You
can
can.
do it.
Yeah.
You can do it.
God gave you the power. God gave you a beating heart.
Yeah.
God gave you a beating heart, and it's strong.
It is.
It's strong.
But yeah, I mean, if you're also a beginner in learning about Christianity and stuff, definitely give us a follow, and I don't know, leave a comment or something, because
Yeah.
I feel like you hear a lot of podcasts and videos of like really experienced people that know
Yeah.
about the Bible,
Definitely.
and it's kind of like, oh boy, I have
It's
so many
intimidating a little.
questions.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like,
You know?
I remember the first time I walked into church, I was like, oh my God, all these people know so much.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm coming at this from like a completely blank slate.
Yeah.
And it was terrifying, but it felt amazing. Felt really, really good to grow, and like I know I thrive in a way there is when there's something that I don't know, I know, like I'm happy when there's something that I don't know, because that means I can learn more. So that's kind of what you said in the beginning, like I always want to make sure there's something that I don't know.
Yeah.
And I always look at it like that. Like I always
yeah.
want to be like, okay, there's always, you know, there's definitely going to be things that I don't know. You gotta stay humble like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Kendrick Lamar was not lying.
Be humble.
Sit
Be
down.
very
Like,
humble.
sit down. This
Like,
is why we're
literally
doing this
sit
sitting
down.
down, because,
Sit down.
yeah.
Sometimes you gotta sit down, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Kind of sucks, but sit down.
Be humble.
Sit, down.
Be humble.
Sit down. Be humble. Is that how it goes?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the chorus. But
Yeah.
anyways,
Yeah, we're definitely new. We're definitely
we're very
new.
new.
But that's the thing, like, I feel like I'm getting to a point where, like, that's what I want my life to be, is Christianity. Like, that is, like...
Yeah.
It's almost like... it's changing how I look at life.
Me
it's
too.
so changing how I look at life. And rather than, like, saying, like... It's just changing my identity, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
So thanks for being here on this journey, though, because...
Yes, we will be talking more about it, and we will be learning more about it.
Yeah, this is definitely good for people who are in the same boat or in a different boat and want to talk about it too.
Yeah, for sure. So definitely keep us posted. We're so glad you guys came on today. We really appreciate the support and the attention.
Love,
We
yeah.
appreciate it so much. It means so much. And we
Yeah.
hope you can get something out of it. Please give us
Yeah.
some feedback.
That's what we're here for.
Give us some feedback. This is our first episode, pretty much. Mm-hmm. So, there's more to come, but it's great to hear you guys' feedback and hear what you liked and what helped.
Yeah, definitely. It's really important.
And all that stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah. I guess we will see you guys in the next time.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks so much for watching.
Love you.
Bye.
Yes.
Oh, I have to pee so bad.
Oh, go pee, go pee.
That was
That was-
like 45 minutes. That was super.
So good to get this off my ears.